Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Tuesday, February 18th. I am joined by Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 on Twitter, Boomy at BoomyTCF on Twitter. And then you can follow me, Zach Lilia, on Twitter at ZLilia, LILJATCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. Go on to YouTube, type in Typical Chicago Fans, and subscribe to the YouTube page, the Typical Chicago Fans YouTube page on there. Watch the videos, like the videos, comment on the videos, let us know what you think of all the videos. And then wherever you get your podcast from, type in Typical Chicago Fans. If you're on Apple, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, rate, review. Like I said, leave us a nice little 5-star rating, please. And then if you're on Spotify, follow us on there to leave a review. And then if you're anywhere else, type in Typical Chicago Fans and do what you got to do. Also, thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com. This beautiful mug right here is made by The Muddy Otter at the bottom right there with the TCF logo on there. Go to The Muddy Otter if you want products like that or some woodworking stuff that they do. They made something very special for my mother at Mitch did, and he left a beautiful little note there, so I want to say thank you to Mitch for that. We got that in the mail today when we got back from our snowmobiling trip, so it was a nice little present to come home to. That is themuddyotter.com. It was a custom job too, so if you want to hit them up on Facebook or Instagram, if you got something special you want done, they will accommodate you as much as they can. Again, that is themuddyotter.com. Also, Score Trader, go onto the Apple Store, type in Score Trader, download the app, make an account. It's free to play. Boomy, like you said, we got Nevada caucus on Saturday.
Yep. And then at the end of the month, we'll also be having South Carolina, and then as we get into March, we have Super Tuesday. But you can be a candidate for cash prizes by playing the Score Trader Vote 2020 event. It's a free-to-play prediction trading game App Store with a bunch of events. So they do the caucuses in each state and the primaries as well as the Democratic National Convention, which is where you can win in those separate events, but also the performance in the entire National Convention as a whole that affect your overall profit in Score Trader tokens for the entire Vote 2020 event. And that is how the real cash is earned, is the overall score that you have. Specific prize numbers will be announced here in the coming weeks, but it integrates political news into the app, so it's a great way to stay tuned in and engaged in the election cycle, all while expressing your vote of confidence in who you buy for the long haul, with plenty of flexibility to change your picks throughout the election cycle. So if you're not a big politics guy or girl and you want to get a little bit more involved, maybe you're getting a little bit older, you need to be more involved in what's going on around you, it's a great way to kind of dip your toes into the water. So right now it's currently only on the Apple App Store, so make sure you go and download it. Follow them on Twitter at Score Trader App, as well as on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you don't understand how to do it, it's super simple. Go to their YouTube page, watch a tutorial video. It'll take you like 2 minutes. So it's fun stuff. And right now, I think probably the number one contender right now is Bernie Sanders, but Pete Buttigieg still in the race. Joe Biden's pretty popular in the southern states. So yeah, there's still, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's obviously Bernie Sanders, but we're only 2 events into it, into the whole Democratic National Convention aspect. So still a lot of time. And if you got any confidence in any of the other candidates, now's the time to jump in. So get on it.
Thank you, Boomy. Again, that is Score Trader. Go onto the Apple Store, type in Score Trader, download the app. It's free to play. Like if you're trying to get used to the app a little bit going into March Madness, it's nice, a little free to play. Kind of mess around with the selling and trading of the politicians to kind of get used to the app, and then you'll kind of have an idea of what to do once it comes to March Madness, because we'll have some fun stuff with that with Score Trader. But again, that is Score Trader on the Apple Store and Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you, Score Trader and the Muddy Otter. Boys, let's get into our first subject of the day. Cubs spring training update. It's been a weird spring training. There's been a lot of fire out of the Cubs here. Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, Javi Baez, Yu Darvish. They've all had comments that have kind of I don't know, sent some shockwaves through the Cubs nation a little bit, and I love it. I love it. I love the fire. Yu Darvish is mad about it. Chris Bryant's mad about the cheating and the rumors of the trade and the rumors of the grievance, and Anthony Rizzo was kind of annoyed with the grievance and the cheating, and I love it all. Javi Baez saying he didn't prepare last year well, and that he's going to get back to that, and it gets me. I'm excited about this season, kind of with the comments. It
Yeah.
seems like everyone's kind of had an off season to get back at it. They kind of found the love, I would say, maybe for the game. They're kind of getting back into it after they got abruptly taken out of playoff contention last year, right at the end. So I think this team has a little fire underneath it. I think David Ross. I wasn't too sold on David Ross right away, but I am now. I think that it's going to be a nice little change that we've needed, and I think it's going to be perfect for the Cubs. And I'm excited. What do you guys think?
Yeah, man, and you actually nailed what I was going to say. Is like the comments about David Ross has me a little excited. I'm trying not to get too into it right now because it's so early. But the guys seem to have a little bit of sparkle in their eye and a little pep in their step. And Javi Baez admitting that maybe the dog and pony show wasn't the most beneficial thing last year. That they kind of got a little bit too relaxed. They got a little bit too set in their ways, and they needed a little sparklet under their ass, and maybe this is it. And it does make you excited, and it's, the guys out there talking, and you're seeing the videos, and, Chris Bryant stepping in and imitating Anthony Rizzo in the left-handed batter's box, facing live pitching. So just the little things that kind of get the blood flowing. And kind of along the lines of what you were saying, Zach, they realized that the scapegoat, I guess, quote unquote, of Joe Madden and his kind of methods to his madness is over, and it's time for them to perform. So I'm excited. Let's get out. Let's get them going. And I think games start here in like the next 10 days or so. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Saturday is the first spring training game. I don't know what satellite providers you guys have or what you guys do, but I don't know what the marquee is in your.
I did see that they reached an agreement with Hulu Live
Hulu?
TV. So you're,
Okay.
that might make the final decision on me and the wife are borderline about jumping off of DirecTV's ship. And right now Hulu's in the lead for the one that's going to get.
But I think DirecTV has a deal with Marquee.
Yeah, but we're also paying an absorbent amount of money.
We have Dish Network, and my parents, like you said, they've had it for a long time, and they don't have NBC Sports Chicago, and they don't have a deal as of right now with the Marquee. So we may be switching over to DirecTV because of that. I think. I had Dish in college, and I hated it. I literally had it for a year, and I had it forever, and it's never been a big deal. But now that it's been up to, it's got to be 4 or 5 months that they haven't had NBC Sports Chicago. It's kind of getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like October, I think, for you. Also, to kind of add a little dirt onto the Astros, you see that Francis Marte got a 1-year suspension for PED violations, one of the relievers.
Matt, what are your thoughts on the Cubs so far this spring training?
I think we talked about what Brian said and what Rizzo said about Astros cheating. I thought the most interesting comments probably came from Yu Darvish. Because he pitched in the World Series against the Astros in 2017 and absolutely got lit up. And there was talk that he was at the time tipping pitches.
Yeah,
it kind of bled into 2018 with the Cubs. Kind of got in his head there. It seems like. And if he wasn't actually tipping pitches, maybe he was actually having a can banged on him. And
right,
I don't know. He was pretty hot about it, and it's interesting too because I think Yu Darvish is probably the most important player on the team this year, in my opinion. Because if that team's going to go anywhere, they need someone to step up and be an ace. He's the guy that's most likely to be able to do that. So you're going to need him you're going to need him big, and I don't mind him a little fired up. I think it's a good thing. They could use probably a little bit of an edge. I think this year is going to go a long way for this team. It's kind of I think Joe Madden's message kind of fell on deaf ears at some point after 5 years, and egos start getting in the way on both sides of things, and so I think it's I think the fresh message and a little bit of a fire is a good thing for this team.
Yeah, like to your point about the Yu Darvish tipping pitches, I forget who the catcher they brought in when they first signed, or they had Yu Darvish that was kind of he had caught for Yu Darvish in the past.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Gosh, it's gonna drive me nuts.
They were talking
It's
about
gonna
it
drive me
on
nuts.
they were talking about it on Waddle and Sylvie, and how he had come on when he was with the Cubs and talked about how that really affected Yu Darvish when he thought he was tipping pitches and when the whole thing was going on. And now to look back at it and think that they were cheating to tip those pitches, and it screwed with his head for that whole World Series and a whole little bit after that, it's got to be very frustrating for somebody like Yu Darvish to have to think about that it's something that mentally got him out of whack was all because they cheated.
Chris Jimenez.
Yes.
Chris Jimenez. The guy.
He,
Forgot about him.
but yeah, I think that it's all gonna come back on the Astros throughout this season. It's gonna be something to see. It's gonna be something crazy. Especially after the comments they made, they held nothing back.
Zach, I know you and I we've shared our heavy interest in the in wagering money for sporting event outcomes. Did you see the over under on the hit batsman for the Astros this season? Is 83 and a
I
hook.
think it's gonna break records. I think this year.
They might get hit 83 times by the All-Star break.
I think somebody I saw online said the average team, I think, usually is about 60, 61. So
It's
put
gonna
that in
be
perspective.
something else. I wonder, like, what are they gonna do if they get in a
Well, you know there's going to be carryover to other teams, too, because we're on the Astros at one time.
with
and are
Dallas
now on other
Keuchel
teams.
is gonna be with the
They're
White
still
Sox this year.
subject
It's
to
gonna
getting
be
drilled, too.
It's not even that. It's just like if Dallas Keuchel's starting a game, somebody may bring like a trash can to the game, or any other player that's not on the Astros team now that was on that team. If they go somewhere and they kind of want to mess with them, that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring out the trash cans and stuff.
I want to throw this out, too. Like, I think everyone's pretty much on the same page with the Astros' reaction. The apologies, all the other stuff has been kind of falls short
Awful.
of what most people expected, most people wanted. At this point, if you're the Astros, if you're the front office, if you're the players, what other option do you have other than just going full heel and just embracing the target at this point?
Yeah, it's almost their last option right now.
Yeah, you might as well just go out and be, NWO.
But the only thing is, like,
broke away from the WCW. Just go, complete
But
out.
if you're going to go full heel,
I mean,
like, you got to be like, yeah, we cheated, this and that. They're still trying to tiptoe around it. Like, that's not how you go full
That's
heel.
what I'm saying is you got to go
You got
full
to,
heel.
like,
You got to buy in.
I would rather
I'd
rather you go full heel, like you said, instead of being like, well, we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do this. Like, you guys are saying this, like the Correa going after Bellinger and stuff. Like, come on, man. Like,
you want a major boost to ratings for Major League Baseball. Give me a team that just has an absolute.
I want Correa to be like, hey, Bellinger, try and cheat better than me. Yeah, I cheated, but try and cheat better than me.
The only thing I'll say, too, about all these guys coming out saying shit, you better make sure you're not living in a glass house. You better make sure you don't have and you better make sure your organization.
My thing is, I think with the amount of people that have come out against them, I think that they were doing something very extreme. You know what I mean? Like,
all I know is there's been rumblings on a lot of teams, and the Dodgers were some of the loudest rumblings, and they're some of the loudest talkers right now. So those guys better make sure their house is in order.
I think they do. Like, I really don't think that they would come. Like, everyone would come out this strong if like they knew other people. I think people do some stuff maybe in the process, but I think that this is like the most extreme, and it just pissed everybody off.
Throw out this hypothetical. They just had two guys as a part of the trade with Mookie Betts in the first half of the deal that actually fell through. It was John Peterson and Russ Stripling. One of those guys is scored, pissed off a little bit because the Dodgers tried to trade him, and now he's back in the organization. Burn the whole forest down, dude. That's all I'm saying is something that's all it takes is something like that.
It would have already happened.
All I'm saying is just make sure your house is in order before you start going too crazy.
You keep saying that, but like everyone's is like what? I'm pretty
You
sure.
remember Rafael Palmeiro? You remember Rafael Palmeiro pointing his finger to fucking Congress?
Yeah.
I didn't do steroids. I didn't do steroids. These guys have way bigger egos than anybody can ever imagine. They have no problem lying through their teeth if they have to. All I'm saying, it would not shock me as if somebody else is caught up in this real soon.
I think that is wrong take. I think that if somebody would have been caught up in that, I think that the media they would push away from it. I think that they wouldn't be going after it. But with all these guys going after them the way they are, I think that they are cheating in a way that no one else has ever cheated like that.
You might be right there.
I don't think that.
So
I think that maybe some of these guys have been caught up maybe in different kind of cheating, but they haven't gone to the length of putting a camera in center field to try and get pitches and bang on the thing.
It's so extraordinary that you're right. Probably no one else was doing it to that extent, but like now with like the hypersensitivity of it, what other means of sign stealing were going on that were not as in depth that maybe are not getting talked about because it's not as polarizing.
The big thing is it doesn't really matter. Like, unless it's more extreme than this, it's not really going to get much of a play.
That's what I'm saying. Right. So, for now, it's gonna be a nothing until this all dies down.
Yeah, the thing with steroids was I really think that what the Astros did was worse than steroids because, like you said, you can take steroids all you want. It isn't going to let you know that the guy is throwing you a fastball on the corner or something. Like, they knew. Like, it's crazy what they knew and, like, the stats that they did.
Mike Trout made a great point. He said, I'd love to be able to know what pitches were coming. Mike Trout is already the best.
That's when you know.
Imagine what his numbers would be if he knew what was coming. Like, the dude would probably hit, like, 500. Like, it's in – and you really messed up. Like Mike Trout's one of the quietest guys in the MLB. You really messed up when Mike Trout is not happy with you.
He said that perfectly too, though, because he's like, it would be so much fun to know.
I'll go with this quote the whole time. Chris Bryant said, "If we won the World, if I hit a home run off of Aroldis Chapman to go to the World Series, you could rip my pants off. You could rip my shirt off. You could rip whatever." That he's like, and for Chris Bryant to say that, like like he's not saying that just to like throw out a quote. Like he means that, and that's what I think. Like these guys mean what they're saying right now, and they are pissed off, and it's kind of crazy. Like
I thought Bellinger's comments were the best. He went at him hard.
Well, it's crazy to think like the Yankees,
real hard.
The Yankees signed Garrett Cole. Everyone kind of hates the Yankees, this and that, and now it's just everyone is turned against the Astros, and they are the most hated team in baseball right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like I said, I'm getting more excited about going back to the Cubs. We kind of got off track there, but going back to the Cubs, like I'm excited about the start of this spring training. I like how the guys are kind of owning up to maybe we didn't prepare enough, maybe we didn't do a good enough job, but we are here to say we did it. We didn't do the right thing, but we are going to step up as a team. And I think David Ross is going to keep guys, hold guys accountable. So I'm excited. I've been turned
a consistent lineup out there. Hopefully,
even though it's just been quotes out there, it really has been no actions. I've been kind of turned on the whole David Ross situation, and I'm excited to see what he can do with the Cubs.
I'm optimistic. I don't know if I'm all in right now, but
I'm not all in. But I am all in because I'm all in with the Cubs, and it's not like there's nothing going to change between now and the beginning of the season. So I'm in on whatever the Cubs are going to do right now.
I don't mean to interject here, but I just had like something, one of the tickler file type thing just pop up in my head now that we're talking baseball. So somebody jot this down that we need to talk. We got to do like a predictions like episode here or something.
Yeah.
So we got to do we give division winners, rookie of the year, MVPs, that kind of shit.
Well, you did that once with the on this spreadsheet, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do that again.
It'll be a lot easier with just us, get us three P going.
We'll do a show. Like I said, spring training, like I said, starts on Saturday, so the season's getting here quicker and quicker. We're excited. I didn't really realize that the season started in Milwaukee this year, so on a Thursday. So you might see some TCF member at the game. We don't know yet. But let's move on here. Like I said, we got a lot into baseball there. We got baseball coming up a lot in the next few months. But we got Bulls front office changes. Maybe? Thoughts?
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to even think that this is going to be real because then I'm just going to be mad when it doesn't happen. But
Right.
I
That's
think
what I'm saying. I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch
No.
because I don't trust
I
anyone
think
in the Bulls
this
organization.
we can help, though. I think them seeing First Take all over, fire Garpax, and Jerry Reinsdorf finally started to realize, like, this has gone maybe a little more extreme than maybe we thought it
How
had.
dumb is this organization for it to have to come to that to realize that your
But this
leaders
but
are
it does take maybe Boomy it having the biggest stage of them all. It gets the NBA Finals, but the All-Star game in your city,
Right.
and the main concern for your fans aren't the players or anything. It's to say fire Garpax, and I think that was a maybe a big concern, and maybe that's what got this news going. Like I said, it's fun to talk about, but us Bulls fans, we're so. It's just been so sad the last few years, and with the whole, every time we think that something's going to change with the front office, it doesn't. So until something happens, unfortunately, I don't believe anything.
Yep, prove me something. Give me a list of guys you're openly interviewing. Give me something.
You could say that you're openly interviewing people too, and I will not believe you until that you fire.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way. I mean, I just want to see something other than these rumors that they're kind of possibly maybe looking at candidates. So, optimistic is subtly optimistic, I guess is the best way I'd put it. But hopefully this is leading down a good path. But I'm not holding my breath. I'm not like jumping for joy.
But it is nice though. I think that maybe this news could have been like I don't know. You just see it all around, but I think that, like you were saying, Boomy, if it would have been, if Reinsdorf would have thought this, they would have thought this before this weekend. Maybe this weekend wouldn't push them over the edge.
7 years of just absolute bad basketball and poor leadership skills to, get to an all-star game for them to find like, hey, maybe these guys are kind of idiots. So, and if it wasn't for them lucking into the Derrick Rose #1 lottery pick, then who knows? I mean, we could be talking, 15, 20 years of very mediocre.
Speaking of the Derrick Rose stuff, I don't know if you guys have listened to the Joakim Noah interview. Oh my gosh, it made me want to run through a brick wall.
Outstanding
when
interview.
He had the quote that he goes, if we could have played LeBron, I think he said LeBron, when we were fully healthy, we could have beat him. And he just goes, fuck! Like, he just gets mad. Yeah. He's just like, fuck, we should have had that.
It was like,
you can tell he's still fired up. I'm still fired up. Man, if Derrick Rose could have stayed healthy, man, that team would have been,
Yeah, he said the year that Rose tore his ACL when they lost he did that in the first round. He said they would have won it all that year. He said
also a funny story for some diehard Bulls fans. The story he tells about how Carlos Boozer and Nate Robinson kind of hashed that out is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, that was really good. I listened
to Matt,
that.
What are your thoughts? Do you think that the Bulls have any chance of making any changes in the front office?
Well, I'm not satisfied with anything until they just burn the whole fucking thing down.
It's like I said, you sound like every single other Bulls fan. You just
top down, bring it all. Everything.
Until you do it, I don't care. Like, you can keep saying I've heard for 5 years there's been maybe changes in the front office, and nothing has happened. So until someone is actually
change
fired,
the doctors, change the doctors, change the janitorial staff, change the catering companies, do it all, everything. The whole damn thing. Burn it all down.
Like, honestly, the news the last few days, though, has kind of pissed me off in a way because now all these stories are going to come up, and it's going to get you excited, and then you're going to be like, nope, nothing's going to even happen. And then they're going to get like an extension.
I don't even know who I want. I mean, that's the thing, too. It's like,
I almost want anyone else. Like, I don't know. I think it's just the names. I don't know if that sounds stupid. It just sounds like a meatball take, but the name Garpax would just like a different name in the front office would make me feel better. I don't know.
No, I don't disagree with you, and I just have such little like faith in the Reinsdorf family, Michael and Jerry. That
Which is crazy to say that about a
I mean,
team about a guys who won 6 championships. Like I understand that was
yeah, 20
I
years
understand
ago.
I know, but you
And
know what I
also a
mean.
guy who said
To think that
a
like
year ago that the best thing in the world is to finish second
yeah,
place. So
it's what can happen in 20 years is crazy.
yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still, the guy did what he did in the '90s,
Um,
but I mean,
I
since
think
then,
it
it's been pretty
was it
bleak.
you, Boomy, who may have quote tweeted. It was the next. We had the All Star game, one of the best All Star games of all time. Amazing
Yeah,
All Star game. We had the best players in the NBA. It was one of the best All Star games I've ever seen. It was one of the best basketball games I've ever seen. It was just fun to watch these guys who are at the top of their game play so hard in a game like this. And the next game on that court is going to be the Chicago Bulls and the New Orleans Hornets. Is right? No, wait.
Charlotte
Charlotte Hornets.
Hornets.
Sorry. Uh,
Can the Bulls just throw like the entire organization to like Ujiri and just let him run the whole thing?
To who?
To Masai Ujiri, just let him run the whole operation. Just say,
Yeah. Yeah.
you buy him out of Toronto, and I think he's not even he's the president of the team. I think there.
Yeah.
So just say
He's
here's the keys to the organization.
like I said,
Just
And he's
build.
not old, is he?
He's got to be. I
would
would think he's no more than 50, 51.
Okay.
I wouldn't bet he's any. Here, hang on.
yeah. So like you said,
There's some other good names out there. I can think of faces, like when other teams have done their GM searches.
It's 49.
like
He's 49.
I said, it's one of the.
Yeah.
It's a stupid take, but if we can have anyone in the front office named anything other than Gar Foreman and John Paxson, then I'm okay with it.
If you do both at the same time, I mean,
Like he said, I don't believe anything until the news says fired.
shit. At this point, I'll take Rick Hahn too.
Hey, throw this hypothetical out there, and I know it would be. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but I think he would be attractive to NBA free agents, as if you also threw the kitchen sink at like Calipari. He's got a huge network of players.
I think the guy's a scumbag, but yeah, I don't hate it.
Huge
I just
network.
don't see the Bulls willing to throw enough money at him. At this point, you already
Huge
paid
network. Look at
No, I'm not saying you're
Carl
wrong,
Anthony Towns.
well, you know who we're talking about, though, right? We have.
Booker.
Think of the the list of coaches we've had on this team, and you think that we're gonna think outside the box and go after Calipari? Like,
that's true,
man. You're making this team sound a lot
You're
smarter
giving this
than they are.
organization way too much credit.
yeah, that's.
God
forbid you go a little forward thinking.
Matt, I think that makes you a prime candidate for the next GM or something of the Bulls, because that's a great thought. But these guys, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. The Daytona 500 was yesterday. It was postponed on Sunday due to rain, so they finished it on Monday afternoon. It was one of those races. They always say the big one happens and this and that. There's a lot of wrecks at the end of the race. I did a little gambling on on NASCAR. Thrilling. It is thrilling. I would recommend it. My dad is pretty into NASCAR, so he helped me out with some of the gambling. But ended up with all the wrecks at the end, I ended up losing out on the two guys. I had Joey Logano and Clint Boyer.
Joey
Logano.
But just
Slowy,
a horrible
Logano.
accident right at the end of the race. They were it was called overtime. I don't really know what that meant. It was just one. It was pretty much just one lap for the end. It was just like you go in one lap and then they do the checkered or they do the white flag and then I think that means you go around
it's
one more
so
time.
deceiving how fast those cars are going when you watch them.
Yeah, and then
they're doing like 210 miles an hour.
Ryan Newman was in first place, going towards the finish line, and hit in the back and kind of spun out, and then it kind of spun out and unfortunately hit by another car and went airborne. It was one of the scariest things you could ever see. You don't really realize how fast those guys are really going until an accident happens like that. It was pretty much just slid.
He passed the finish line upside down.
Pretty much it was sliding on the driver's side. Like, it was the scariest
smashed
thing you
up.
could
Those
see.
sparks were flying into him and through the window.
They pretty much canceled. Canceled all
media.
media. They canceled all media after the game. They really didn't even do any media with the winner of the Daytona 500, which is one of the biggest races in NASCAR, and pretty much got shut down after what was going on. It has come out that there's no life-threatening injuries, but he is in critical condition right now at the hospital. Still a very scary situation. Like I said, people forget sometimes that NASCAR is a very, very dangerous thing. Like, those guys are going 200 plus.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I once, when I was like 17, got my car to like 102 miles an hour, and it was one of the scariest things I've ever done. I can't imagine
that over
like double
the air. Yeah, now your mother knows.
No,
but Matt, what
it is.
Matt, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say too. Like, I mean, a lot of people online were giving like Hamlin a little bit of shit for celebrating after he won. And his crew was kind of fired up.
Joe Gibbs actually came out and apologized.
Well, and that's fine, and I get it, but it's hard to blame the guy because the accident happened behind him.
Yeah,
and don't forget, like you said, he's going 200 miles an hour. So in like 3 seconds at 200 miles an hour, he's a half a mile away.
Yeah,
think of how much you can see from a half a mile behind you going 200 miles an hour. I don't think he could see like totally what was like unfolding behind him. So they got to cut the guy a little slack.
Joe Gibbs even came out and said that once they figured out what the severity of the accident was, everything was shut down. They didn't realize what the severity was once they started like kind of celebrating after they passed the finish line. But once everything was found out, Denny Hamlin was saying that it was just once he figured out what was the actual situation and how scary it all was, that he said because he didn't really realize until he kind of saw there was no media going on, and then from there he figured out that how severe it really was. And like I said, everyone in NASCAR and us too sent out our prayers to the family. Said that's a very scary situation. I think it's Jeff Gordon does the commentary for the Daytona 500, one of them, and he said, as much as we've come along in safety, you don't prepare for something like that. You're still 200 miles an hour flying through the air. You can't.
There's only so far safety measures can take you at 200 miles an hour.
Like I said, I understand people sometimes. What did you say about NASCAR? I think it's a very interesting sport. I think it's kind of, for me, my patience isn't the best. It's kind of tough for me to watch, but I think the fan base and how they do their media, I think they're one of the best in professional sports. I think the way that they bring in people, like I said, with Barstool, I mean, they brought in Barstool, and that has expanded their media, and I think that they are really smart with that kind of stuff. But like I said, a horrible...
I completely agree, Zach. It's just not for me.
No, like I said, it's not for everybody. That's not... And like I said, watching college basketball every single Saturday, all day on the couch isn't for everyone either. It's one of those things you kind of...
well, those people I don't want to associate with.
Yeah.
I understand that, Matt.
I don't want those kind of people in my life.
Yeah, I don't need that kind of negativity dragging down.
But I think it's maybe a little different for me because with like my grandpa and my dad,
Well,
I've been around it.
Yeah,
and I have been to the races, though. I do think you guys would like the race day celebrations.
Oh, like a weekend
outside.
Drinking party? Yeah, I'd probably.
I think I'm more of a horse racing.
Yeah, it's a much different scene. You're not going really for the NASCAR. You're going for the party outside, which is
the event.
I think I went to Joliet, is where I went.
Yeah,
but
I've heard that's fun.
Very scary, but I think
it sounds like he's all right.
It's a critical condition, but just to see that accident, it makes you sick to your stomach. Boomy, do you have a wacky web story for us today?
You're darn right I do. And there's a man who's being charged with some crimes that I don't know if the crime or the punishment is going to meet how severe the crime was, because a Utah man, Ryan State, 37, has been accused of using rodents to scam at least 3 hotels. He has been going into these hotel rooms, releasing mice and hamsters, letting them crap all over, and then yes, exactly. I want this man in prison for the remainder of his life. He's going in and just releasing these rodents, letting them poop all over. Then he goes to the hotel management and says there's animal feces in his room, so he gets a free room.
I hate this guy.
I want this. Yep. I want this.
Okay, I don't hate the hustle.
Yes.
No.
Not the time and place, Ryan.
No.
The fact that he's like swinging like 3 hotel rooms.
Do it with something.
And he's probably not doing this at Hilton. He's probably doing this at like Motel 6. Like there's probably
you can't do it that way.
Not that
you gotta
way.
Be, there's gotta be.
I was
there's
to
gotta be
see
some class.
even one single mouse turd at a hotel room, I would freak out. I'm not.
You do what you do to the Bulls is you burn it down. You burn the whole building down.
That's like I said, the hustle. Whatever, you're trying to get a free room, but you're gonna take a bunch of.
You can't
that's
hate
a lot
it.
of work too.
You can't hate that if you're gonna put
free room. Like
get a free room. You know.
Come on, man. I'll buy
he
you a
is
free
charged
room
with 2 counts of theft by the.
I'm not saying I need the room. I'm just saying if you need the room, I don't hate the effort that was put into getting the room.
No, I respect that, but I also am. That's my biggest fear in life.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not.
Mice.
Yeah, I'm not, do you really think that I'm going to go through that kind of effort to obtain?
What a weirdo! Who's got a bunch of mice and hamsters just in a box, and then you get them back in the box as they? What the heck?
People who eventually proceed into killing other humans. They start out doing weird shit like
this. Put this guy in jail and just leave him for a few months. Just see what happens. Just leave him for a few months.
You guys
what else did they say about that? I'm sorry, I cut you off. I was just
There's nothing else you need to know. What did he get?
Yeah, he's in charge. He's got 4 counts.
Idiot.
And I don't think his punishment is going to be as severe as it should.
It's not going to fit the crime at all, honestly.
But you like this. Once when I was in Florida, walked into a hotel room I was staying in, and you guys know me and my hotel rooms. And, Florida is famous for the little lizards running around. Well, there was a lizard on the wall in my hotel room. So, I mean, I didn't complain for a free room. I threw a sandal at it, and it went and hid behind a painting, and I went to sleep. So, just take it like a man.
Are you serious? You just slept in a room with a lizard?
Yeah. It's not going to bother me.
I don't think you know that.
In Florida, like it's like spiders. You eat like what? Probably like a few of them in your sleep.
Like that
I'm staying away from
that. Sandal at him and he disappeared. And I went to bed.
But like you said,
Florida,
the hustle, it's okay. But the way you went about it, not good. It makes everything not good, and I'm done with you. So.
It invalidates the whole effort. I will say, like the hustle is invalidated by doing something.
The way you do it,
so despicable.
I hate you. Well, thank you to our sponsor, Post Show Boys. Anything Post Show?
Who saw the?
Yeah, how did you know that? How did you know that? Yeah, did he send you?
I tweeted it.
Listen to the show, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to the show. Come on, you guys talked about that last night. Or this morning, yesterday morning, I should say. Yeah, I'm all jacked up. Yeah.
I was there. I swear I was there. I'm like, you texted it. I'm like, dude, I looked at your tweets. I'm like, dude, he said nothing about The Departed.
No, what a movie, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I tune him
out. The problem was I think I recorded it from IFC, so there was commercials. But like the movie literally took me like 3 hours to get through, but it was a perfect way to time.
It's solid. It's a solid movie.
Movie with
so good, and I like
Carolina lost on a last-second shot tonight too, so that was cool.
Yeah.
They just continued to shoot that knife a little bit deeper.
Do you think that maybe Cole Anthony's headband almost over his eyes could be the reason why?
The best meme that I saw tonight was the guy from Friday, this next Friday or whatever. He looked like Baby Joker or Little Joker, whatever his name was. His hair.
My buddy,
that's the funniest shit.
My buddy sent a Snapchat. He was like, "Can he see?"
I'm pretty much done with the Cole Anthony project at UNC.
Yeah, I think he'll be in the NBA next year.
Yeah, you've only got like a month left of it, so
It's enough's enough. They're
He'll
just,
be
and it's not his fault.
No.
There's the rest of the team's not very good either. Roy Williams has had a horrible year coaching.
no. Like I
So.
said,
What can you do? It's a dog shit year. You just have to. Again, this is
You
a
get
burn
one
it
every
down
20
episode.
years.
Because burn this whole thing down too. Burn this whole season
Yeah.
down. Burn the Bulls front office down. Burn all those hotels where the guys dropping mice at. Just burn everything. Burn it all down.
Matt is just full scorched earth policy tonight, and I
we didn't
love
get
it.
into it much, but the Blackhawks have lost, 6 of 7?
Throw them on
Yeah.
the fire too.
Blew it. They've blown their chance of making this playoff run in 6 of 7. Like, come on, man. Like,
They go through Western Canada with a chance to really make an impact and
they do
get
nothing.
into the thick of the playoff race, and then just absolutely lay an egg. Lose 5 of 6.
they finally
It's
won.
Come on.
They finally won
Get the
Saturday.
fuck out of here
They won
with this
8-4, and then they lose to the Jets Sunday night. So
The year of sports misery is just continuing.
I need the
we
Cubs
really
to
need
win,
Cubs
like,
to
their
get here
first
and,
35
actually
games.
Be somewhat good early. Yeah.
Hey,
go
Matt,
35
that's all I'm
and 0.
asking.
We'll start
I mean,
out
how hard
35
can
and
that
0,
be?
And then, yeah. No,
Matt,
it's
on a
really-
positive note, though, did you see the San Francisco Giants are going to do an honor for the 2010 Giants that won a World Series, and they have decided to not invite the absolute ass bag that is Aubrey Huff. He's not allowed to be a part of the celebration,
awesome.
even though he was on the team.
He-
That dude is
he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Just give it up, dude.
That's awesome that
Just
they
give
didn't
it
invite him.
Yeah.
It's just like a
We're
ha-ha.
inviting the whole team and just tell Aubrey Huff he could
Oh,
just
he's
piss
probably so
off.
pissed, too. That's hilarious.
He's a
Whatever.
brutal person.
It's a good note to end the show on. Well, thank you to our sponsors, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com if you want a beautiful mug just like this one. Go on to themuddyotter.com or go to their Facebook or Instagram page. Hit them up if you got some custom ideas. Also, thank you to Score Trader. Go on to the Apple Store. Download the Score Trader app. Make an account for free. Play for free. We got the Nevada Caucus coming up here on Saturday, so get involved. We'll get more into that throughout the week. Boomy's been playing. He loves the app. Again, that is Score Trader on the Apple Store. Download the app, make an account, play for free, have some fun on there. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Monday, February 18th. I've been joined by Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 on Twitter. Boomy at BoomyTCF. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLilia, LILJATCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. Go on to YouTube. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe to the page on there. Watch the videos. Like the videos. Let us know what you think. Also, wherever you get your podcast from, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe, rate, review, or follow. Do what you got to do on there. Again, this has been the TCF Morning Show, Tuesday, February 18th. We love you all.
Peace.